ultimate dream is to own my own restaurant. I've been I've been working on so many ideas for so many different restaurants. Business plans, made branding, recipes. I did the whole bit. I have like stacks of paper at home with different ideas, and one day I really hope to actually create one of those and make it into a reality, whether it's here or abroad. And that seemed most of the time it seemed a bit unrealistic, but now it's more real than ever. I mean, it is actually, like, I can see it. I can almost picture it, you know. The whole idea of following your dreams it sounds a bit, as I told you, just a bit, you know, unrealistic sometimes. But I'm here, and honestly, like, I've never won anything. I've never been in a competition of any sort or anything. And honestly, if I can do this, after all these years, I mean, since I was 16, if I can do this and get to where I am right now, I mean, anybody can do it. Anybody can. Whatever the dream is, if it's cooking, so be it. Whatever it is, you want to be a football player, just do it. Just keep doing it. Life is always going to be a distraction, but just do it. Just keep doing whatever you can to always keep it in the back of your head, and just, you know, keep following it. And one day it will just come.
Today's winner is Saied.
I first started cooking at about 16. I worked in a very, very big kitchen in Toronto. I walked into this restaurant, was eating with my family there, and I was like, you know what? It's an open kitchen, so I really wanted to work in it. I applied, got the job. The chef who was working there, for some reason, saw something in me, and I started working with him for about 6 months. And then I left when he left. Then I just started moving from small kitchens to small kitchens. I didn't stay too long because of school and university. And then university I studied hospitality and tourism, so we had a kitchen there that was built for us by some sponsors, and I worked with the chef there every single day. I started developing my own knife skills and all that. And I basically just discovered that this is something that I actually really love. It's not just about making food for myself. That's how it started, really. I was actually out of the house. I wasn't even at home, and my wife calls me and says, "You've never done anything like that, so why don't you just try it?" And I said, you know what, I'm not really sure if I have the skills to get into something like that. And she said, well, it's actually not for professional chefs, it's for amateurs. And that kind of drew me in a little bit. I was like, okay, so apply and let's see what happens. So I came home, and the first thing I did was I actually cooked before I even put anything on the on the computer. I just cooked what I had, what the recipe that I submitted, and then we submitted it. Didn't work. For some reason we couldn't submit it. Then I sent an email, and I got nothing back, and I was like, okay, that's not probably not gonna happen. So a day before, yesterday, about 4 p.m., somebody calls me from Samsung saying, you know what, somebody dropped out and you are 9th in line, so we're gonna take you instead tomorrow at 9:30. And I was just ecstatic. I was really happy about it, but very, very nervous. I've never really cooked in front of, I've never been in a competition of any sort, not even sports, really. So this was like a really, really big moment for me, that phone call. And coming in here and actually walking in and seeing the kitchen and seeing chefs and seeing people all over preparing and stuff, I felt really under pressure that this is serious, this is big, right? And all I brought with me was my lucky knife. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go do a little cooking in front of like 4 or 5 people, but it turned out to be much bigger than I thought. And I was kind of intimidated in the beginning because I went on YouTube to see other people's videos, and most people just put their food on, and just seeing the pictures of the food, I was just like, oh my God, you know. The whole time before I started, even after that call, I was so nervous. Even at home, I couldn't sleep very well. And as soon as I walked in here, I was sitting here, I was kind of shaking. But as soon as like that fire was on and the ingredients were in front of me, I felt like home. You know, I just felt like I knew what I was in my element, and it's actually a really weird feeling because I was really, really nervous, and then suddenly, as soon as they said, okay, start, and my knife was in my hand, I started cutting stuff. I was like, that's it, I'm in a completely different zone. I'm not looking at anybody, I'm not listening to anything. This is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna cook. Throughout the whole event, I never had the feeling that that's it, I got it. But because I never really looked at what other people are doing, but I just felt like I know what I'm doing, and I know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to perfect it. And you know what, like, if this is one of the only things I'm gonna give it my all in my life, this should be it, and I shouldn't even be thinking about whether I'm gonna win or lose. And I even told my wife, listen, this is not about me winning. This is about me actually cooking in front of people and listening to them say good, bad, great, this tastes good, I like the way you did this. Because most of the criticism that I got was basically from close friends and family. So it was really a great experience to have judges in front of me. And I watched a lot of that stuff on TV. So actually, you're always like, okay, I would have done this and I would have done that, but you never actually really think that you're gonna be ever in that position. So being in that was just a bit surreal, but very, very exciting. The thing is, from my own experience, I can tell you that I'm a bit cynical sometimes when it comes to the word following, the phrase following your dream, because following your dream is a bit of a dreamy idea in itself. But I mean, I did try to follow my dream to the extent I could at home. I just tried to always cook for people whenever I can. I've always invited people to cook for them. And the whole idea of actually doing it professionally was always in the back of my head. I knew I always wanted to do it. But I mean, you know, life happens, as they say. I started working in marketing, and PR, and sitting in a cubicle and going to work at 9 o'clock in the morning. But I knew that throughout this whole time in the back of my head, I knew that, you know what, give me a knife, put me in a kitchen, and this is what I want to do. It doesn't matter how long I'm in the kitchen, I'll lose myself there. And so the whole idea of following your dreams it sounds a bit, as I told you, just a bit, you know, unrealistic sometimes. But I'm here.